Stranger Things has been one of the biggest TV show successes over the past few years, and one of the biggest reasons for that is the stellar cast in their employ. However, many of the show's stars have plenty of other strings to their phenomenal talent bows, with plenty involved in the music scene. Today, we're discussing the young Stranger Things stars' musical pursuits, from Finn Wolfhard to Sadie Sink. Stay with us. Let's jump straight in then. We're talking Finn Wolfhard. Of course, Finn plays the beloved Mike Wheeler on Stranger Things, but it's safe to say that his acting talents are comparable to his musical ones. When he's not mucking about in the Upside Down, Finn can be found on stage for Vancouver rock group Carpool. As vocalist and lead guitarist, Wolfhard has a prominent position in the group, who are on the books for Royal Mountain Records in North America and Transgressive Records in the UK. Having only released one EP to date, the guys have mainly focused on covers during their early days and have also featured on the soundtrack of the movie The Turning. Finn is also a member of another group called the Aubreys, who released their debut studio LP in November last year. It's clear that music means a lot to Wolfhard, who is also an autism and ingenious children activist. Good for you, Finn. Have you guys heard any of his stuff? Let us know what you think below. Next up, it's Charlie Heaton. Stay with us. Long before Stranger Things hit the world's leading streaming service, Englishman Heaton moved to his nation's capital to pursue a career in music. Back in 2010, he roamed the London music scene filling in for drummers before joining the noise rock band Comaneci. The band already released one album in 2009 before Heaton joined, but under his tenure, they went on to release a second entitled You Owe Me Nothing But Love. He then solidified himself as a true rocker by going on tour with the band following the release of their second album. But once their tour ended, so did Heaton's time with the group. He soon joined another London band, a psychedelic rock group known as Half Loon. Have you guys heard any of Heaton's music? Give us your thoughts below. Gaten Matarazzo is coming through next. Stay tuned. Matarazzo is, of course, best known for playing Dustin Henderson on our favorite show. But as a young child, he got his big break on Broadway in the famed musical Priscilla, Queen of the Desert. While not playing in a band like many of his Stranger Things castmates, Matarazzo grew up with music via the stage, and also took part in another musical in 2012 called Godspell, proving that he's just as comfortable on stage as he is in front of a camera. Gaten then appeared in the 25th anniversary tour of one of the most famous musicals in recent history, Les Miserables. He played the role of Gavroche on tour, returning to the role a year later on Broadway, and there is actually filmed footage of Gaten in the role of Gavroche. If you have a bit of time on your hands, you can probably find it online. He has also appeared in a couple of music videos in the past, keeping his toes in the metaphorical musical waters. Having appeared in Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj's Swish Swish video back in 2017, he also appeared in a Green Day video about 3 years later. Let us know what you think about Matarazzo's career below. And now, we're talking Sadie Sink. Sadie had a prominent role in the past couple seasons of Stranger Things, playing the tormented Max Mayfield. However, like some of her other castmates, she didn't start off in TV. Her career began on stage, much like Matarazzo. Her most well-known role was probably playing the titular character in Annie, but she started off by playing Susan Waverly in the stage play White Christmas back in 2011. Following her endeavors as Annie, she then bagged the role of the young Queen Elizabeth II in the Broadway play The Audience. However, Sink is also involved in music in a roundabout way, having appeared in Taylor Swift's All Too Well short film. What do you guys think of Sink's career so far? Let us know below. Caleb McLaughlin is up next. Stay with us. McLaughlin portrayed Lucas Sinclair on Stranger Things, but much like his peers on the show, actually started on stage. Having started on Broadway as young Simba in The Lion King, McLaughlin then went on to play Baki in The Painted Rocks at Revolver Creek. Similar to Gaten and Matarazzo, McLaughlin has also appeared in the video of a music superstar, having featured in Sia's rather ominous-sounding Santa's Coming for Us. What is your favorite Lucas moment from Stranger Things? Next up, we're talking about Joe Keery. Keery's arc on Stranger Things as Steve Harrington was one of the most wholesome on the entire show. After starting out as a typical, unlikable jock bully, he ends up being one of the most beloved characters. But Keery's path hasn't always been acting. Similar to a lot of his peers on the show, Keery takes his music just as seriously, and in his younger years, released tracks under the stage name Cool Cool Cool. He also performed for Post Animal, a psych rock band out of Chicago, for whom he featured on drums and guitar, having had a hand in forming the band back in 2014. The group released 2 EPs and 1 studio album while Keery was with them, but he left to focus on acting after season 2 of Stranger Things. However, he wasn't completely done with music, and in 2019, he released his first material as a solo artist with the single called Roddy. Soon after, he released a second single before dropping a whole album in autumn of the same year. And Music Magazine, NME, gave him a rave review, saying Keery is a musician of very high caliber who dabbles in the kind of inventive, warped psychedelia that gently twists your melon and constantly shapeshifts around you, before comparing him to Aussie psych rockers Tame Impala. High praise indeed. Next month, we'll also see the release of his second studio album, and we can't wait. We're talking about Maya Hawke now. Stay tuned. 24-year-old Hawke, who as you probably know has uber famous parents in the shape of Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, is a bona fide star in her own right. After joining Stranger Things for season 3, she released her debut album called Blush in 2020. The album featured songs written by Hawke herself, as well as Grammy Award-winning songwriter Jesse Harris. Maya has also called on the talents of her superstar father, Ethan, who appeared in the cult classic Training Day back in 2001. Hawke Sr. was good enough to direct one of his daughter's music videos, but shortly after, as the album was about to drop, she pushed the release dates as it clashed with the BLM protests in the summer of 2020. At the time, she said, "I feel like this is not a time for self-promotion. It's a time for activation, education, and self-examination," before dropping the album a couple of months later. And similar to Kiri, Hawke also has another album set to drop next month. As we eagerly await the release of her follow-up album entitled Moss, we can't wait. Have you guys heard any of Maya Hawke's music yet? Let us know below. And finally, it's Jamie Campbell-Bower. Londoner Campbell-Bower joined the star-studded cast for season 4 of Stranger Things, but like most of the rest of the gang, music oozes through his veins. Having been instrumental in the formation of the punk rock band Counterfeit, Campbell-Bower spent 5 years with the group, for whom he provided vocals and guitar. They released their debut album, Together We Are Stronger, back in 2017 after dropping a string of EPs, but they only ever did one studio album. A couple of years back, the band released a couple of singles, but never followed up with an album, and disbanded as the pandemic set in back in 2020. Whilst only producing limited material, Campbell-Bower and Counterfeit won one particularly impressive award, bagging the Best Live Act Award from AIM Independent Music Awards back in 2017. They were also nominated for Best British Newcomer in the same year at the Kerrang Awards, but just missed out. Of course, we had heard that a couple of the guys on Stranger Things cast were musically gifted, but we had no idea the extent of the phenomenon. I mean, with the talent on offer, the gang could easily form their own cast group and even perform the soundtrack. I mean, who needs Kate Bush when we have this much talent at our disposal? Am I right? Who were you most surprised about? Give us your thoughts below. As usual, thanks for tuning in today, and remember to stop by again next time when we will be revealing all sorts of other fun bits and pieces. And why not do us a solid by liking today's video while also sharing it with any Stranger Things you may have lurking in the depths of those social media accounts. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Bye guys.